Today I want to show you two different live stream reactions from myself over the last 10 days about Battlegrounds. The first is a video that Kabam posted that I didn't make a separate video about, but we watched live, and here's my overall reaction to it. Holy crap. Do you guys see what's on screen right now? Mastery loadout applied. Mastery loadout applied. Mastery loadouts. This is amazing. Multiple decks and actually being able to save your masteries to those decks. This is so good, man. That was 10 days ago. And then Kabam, they posted this update about Battlegrounds. So many good changes. I'm not going to read through them all, or barely any even. But all these updates, they're all so good. Then they even, talked about the victory track and the gladiator circuit, where basically, the more you win, the further along you're going to progress and things like that. And I was so excited about all of this. I was just waiting for Battlegrounds to officially release before making just an overwhelmingly positive video about all this stuff. And then, well, this was my most recent live stream. I don't know if this really sunk in until I read your comment, Nick. For some reason, even though I read this, and I thought I understood it at the time, I was still kind of attaching these rewards to actually being good at the game and not just playing 24/7 like it was an arena grind. That's so much worse than I thought. Why do they do this, guys? What the hell, man? Before I get into what made me flip the switch from pure joy and excitement to immeasurable disappointment, I want to remain at least somewhat positive here and give Kabam a lot of credit. It's not every day that you see a game that is nearing 8 years old still rolling out new game modes, and this game mode has a lot of potential. It still has a lot of potential. It's still brand new, not even officially released yet. It will be in a couple days. Kabam, they're showing signs that they understand what players want to see, from the betas that they've put out, and all the changes. I think they're all really great, and a lot of these different features that they've come up with to make the mode feel a bit more special. It's the type of mode that can keep MCOC going for years. It's a competitive, it's a player versus player mode, so it's not for everybody, but for the competitive and most passionate subset of MCOC players, it's enough to keep them going for years to come potentially. But they desperately need to fix the reward structure for it. This is where things really go south. So there are a few different categories of rewards. We have these solo objectives, which we saw those in the beta. It's a 48-hour cadence of just an objective of like winning matches. Then we have solo and alliance events, which are a bit similar to how solo and alliance events work today, but now they're for Battlegrounds. Then we have the victory track and gladiator circuit, which these two are basically one and the same. The gladiator circuit is just kind of the nickname for the ranked mode, where in order to qualify to have a ranking, you just have to make it through the victory track. It's just kind of a way to prove yourself that you're entering in the really competitive scene here. And by really competitive, I mean a lot of players will make it into this. And then there'll be various rankings within it. Then there's also the Battlegrounds store, which you're going to gain a new currency, and then much like the Glory store or Loyalty store, you're going to take the the Battlegrounds currency and buy things from this store. Now the issue really comes when comparing the solo/alliance events to the gladiator circuit. So again, this is the actual, rankings, where you'd expect that if you ranked highly in this mode, you would get the best rewards. Well, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a closer look. So these are the solo event milestones. This is kind of the participation rewards, if you will, where you win fights and just play matches in general. And you gain points, and through gaining these points, you gain some milestone rewards, which are 6-star shards. And then, just like other events, there is not just the milestones for that, there's also the ranked rewards as well. So the players who score the highest number of points, they are very handsomely rewarded. The top 500 people, in fact, will gain a 6-star awakening gem. Varying amounts of sig stones are given out here, and various amounts of 6-star shards as well. Same thing for the alliance events. Works the exact same way, where there's alliance event milestones, and then there are also alliance event ranked rewards. Then if we look at the victory track here, you're also rewarded just for going through the victory track. And what's really cool about this is there was somewhere in the notes that, as you're ascending and going through the victory track, you're rewarded right away. You don't even have to wait for like the end of season payout. And then there's the gladiator circuit here, which resets seasonally. And these are the rewards that you get. These trophy tokens, these can be spent in the Battlegrounds store to just get various things like catalyst fragments or shards, sig stones, that kind of thing. Now, they actually show what's available in this store, and it's some pretty good stuff in there. And hey, man, if you got 60,000 trophy tokens, you'd have a field day in that store. You could buy a lot of good stuff. If you're like the rank 1 player, it scales down fairly quickly, but still, if you're high ranked, you get some pretty good rewards. The real issue, though, is that these rewards, they pale in comparison to just participating. All of this stuff here, like the solo events that I was talking about, you get a 6-star awakening gem, up to 200 6-star sig stones, up to 60,000 6-star shards. Not to mention that, as you're going through and gaining these milestone rewards, you're also gaining some 6-star shards. You're also gaining these trophy tokens that, you would get if you, placed highly in the event. So all of this stuff right here, it's just the cherry on top. The actual rewards come from participating. And when I say participating, I really mean participating. Look at how you earn points for the alliance event. You earn points by drafting a champion. You earn points by assigning an attacker. You earn points by assigning a defender. And you earn points when the match is complete. You don't even get points here for winning any of the fights. It is literally just participation. And here you get, tier 6 basic catalyst fragments, tier 3 alpha catalyst fragments, a bunch, tons of trophy tokens, depending on how high you rank, of course. Lot of good stuff available there. At least in the solo events, you do actually gain some points for winning fights. However, it's a very small amount of points that you win in comparison to just completing a match. So if you think about it, the way to maximize your rewards in this mode is just to maximize the number of matches that you complete. Not only will you score the most amount of points that way in the alliance events, but if you really try hard enough to end the matches as quickly as possible, you will also gain more points per time spent just by, essentially forfeiting your match. Instead of throwing in your highest level champions, you would want to assemble a deck with, 1 and 2 star champions, preferably unranked 1 and 2 star champs, so that your opponent just mows over them in like a single shot. You just, as soon as the fight starts, you pause and quit out of that fight so that you can just, end the fight without having to go through the timer, or just get hit in the face one time or something like that, right? You're in there with 1 and 2 star champs. You end the fight in like 10 seconds. Your opponent ends their fight in 10 seconds. You fly through the matches as quickly as possible to rack up as many points as possible. And that's how you are best rewarded for playing Battlegrounds. Now, it gets slightly worse than that when you realize that these matches, they cost either energy to participate or something called Elder's Marks. Now, I actually think that Elder's Marks as sort of a currency to play these matches, I'm actually okay with that. It's not the best, but at least it was some kind of compromise, I guess, where I didn't hate this, where you got these Elder Marks, And you can either queue up with these Elder Marks, which there appears to be a fairly good amount of them at least, or you can queue up with energy. It's either 15 Elder's Marks per match or 15 energy, 15, questing energy. However, you cannot contribute towards these solo events and these alliance events with using regular energy. So you couldn't even take your energy refills and contribute toward this. You would have to, take whatever Elder's Marks you got from these events, and then also you can buy Elder's Marks with units. So what this comes down to is, after you burn through your Elder's Marks, playing as quickly as humanly possible just to forfeit the matches to get the highest number of points to qualify for the highest level of rewards, you would then start just buying refreshes, and suddenly this mode is feeling a lot like the arena, where in the arena, yeah, you burn through your roster and then you just buy refreshes, and it's all about speed, right? How fast can you do it? Except the arena, at least you are encouraged to win the fights. Where, like I said, the fastest way to earn points in Battlegrounds is just to straight up lose every single time as quickly as you possibly can by throwing in your lowest level champions possible, and hope that you can, your opponent doesn't just sit there and get hit in the face a bunch and they just one-shot your champion and move on to the next match. That is the best way to play Battlegrounds. So it's actually less skill involved in Battlegrounds than the arena. Now, that is a statement that I don't think I would have ever imagined saying. The solo competitive mode of MCOC, less skill involved than the arena. Wild that something like this can be shipped. Again, man, I think the devs behind Battlegrounds have done a great job designing, a fun game mode to play. But if they're hell-bent on just creating a mode that is as time-consuming as possible, rather than being a mode that rewards skillful play and interesting decision-making and tactics and stuff like that, then what are we even doing here? Now, I do think it's fixable, but it's not going to be that easy. I think we need an entire total rework. I don't think there's any easy solutions with this system where, oh yeah, you just give more points for, fights won, or, rework the ranked rewards versus solo rewards. No, man. I think a lot more work needs to be done with this system to not just make it a total, time-sucking activity. That can't be what everything in this game is about. This is already being layered on top of all of the other modes that have existed for 8 years that are not becoming less time intensive. As a matter of fact, you're going to have to play more of those modes in order to even use the catalyst that you're getting from Battlegrounds. Because you're not getting gold here. You're not getting ISO. Well, okay, take that back. You're getting 6-star shards, so maybe you're getting ISO. But you're not getting gold here. How do you expect to even, rank up your champions with the new champs that you get and the new catalysts that you get to feed them? You're not getting any sort of units from playing this mode. If anything, it's taking some units from you. So if you were an arena grinder, the most time-consuming activity that exists in MCOC, you're going to have to play even more of that. Can someone tell me if there's still 24 hours in the day? Did I lose my mind? Did we somehow gain time? Are we up to like 30, 35 hours in a day? Because that's what it feels like we would need in order to be able to play this stuff. Like, this is... I want to make one more point here. I want to go back to incursions. It was the first mode that I could ever play with a friend who was not kind of on the same level of where I was at in the game. Someone who maybe they just started the game, a few years later. And I wanted to help out this friend, and I did. Shout out to Dave, by the way. We played some incursions together, and it was fun, man. And when I was playing with my newer, lower level buddy, going through incursions, I was helping him out, but I wasn't getting jack squat for it. And as much as I want to help, I also had to play incursions for myself. So what that means is I had to play incursions twice as much, which was already a struggle just to play them one time regularly, like 1 time a week, on top of all the other stuff going on, right? What do you think this is going to do to the friendly sort of just one-on-one or the tournament scene in MCOC that could evolve, that could grow over time? Except you're not going to get anything from those friendly matches. And I don't want Kabam to attach rewards to the friendly matches. My point here is that there's just not going to be time for that. There's not going to be time for, community creations like that. Players are going to be stuck just playing Battlegrounds in a ranked way, trying to rack up as many points as possible, because this is not a competitive mode in the way that people want a competitive mode. This is a grind. This is the Arena 2.0. I think the mode is great otherwise, and I hope that Kabam addresses some of these concerns that myself and others have. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.